If you are over 60 and your joints have been hurting more lately, especially in your knees, your fingers, or your hips, this may not be just aging. There is something many seniors are missing in their daily diet, something simple that most people completely overlook, and over time, that missing piece may quietly make joint discomfort worse without them even realizing it. What makes this surprising is that it is not about expensive treatments, complicated routines, or some rare superfood nobody can pronounce. It is about foods that have been around for generations, foods many people stopped eating regularly without thinking twice about it. Now, you have probably been told that stiffness, soreness, and slower movement are simply part of getting older, and to some extent, changes in the body are natural with age. But what many people never stop to ask is this: what if part of the problem is not just age itself, but what the body has slowly been missing day after day for years? Because after 60, the body becomes much more sensitive to patterns, especially the patterns repeated every single day. And in this video, we are going to talk about 5 simple beans that may help support joint health naturally, why these foods matter more than most people realize, and the everyday habits that may quietly be making joint discomfort worse. Why joints feel different after 60. After 60, the body does not stop working, but it does begin working differently. The joints may not recover from stress the way they once did. Muscles can slowly weaken if they are not being used consistently. Inflammation may become more noticeable. Even simple movements that once felt automatic can begin to require more effort. Some people first notice it getting out of bed in the morning. Others feel it climbing stairs, standing too long in the kitchen, or trying to open a jar that never used to be difficult. And because these changes happen gradually, most people simply accept them without questioning what might be contributing to them. But the truth is that joints do not work alone. Your muscles support them. Your circulation supports them. Your hydration supports them. And the foods you consistently give your body may also play a role in how your body feels over time. That is why daily eating habits matter far more after 60 than most people realize. Not because one food magically changes everything overnight, but because the body responds to patterns repeated consistently. The foods many seniors stop eating. Now this is where things get interesting. A lot of seniors are actually trying to eat healthier. They are cutting back on greasy foods, eating lighter meals, and trying not to overeat. But in the process, many people also remove foods that quietly supported their body for years. And one of the biggest examples of this is beans. Now, beans probably do not sound exciting. Most people do not think about them when they think about joint health. But what matters is not just the food itself. What matters is what these foods provide the body consistently over time. Beans contain plant protein, fiber, minerals, and nutrients the body uses every day for muscle support, circulation, digestion, and overall balance. And when the body consistently lacks support in those areas, it may begin responding in ways people never connect back to food. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but gradually. The body adapts quietly. That quiet adaptation is often what people experience as stiffness, soreness, fatigue, or slower movement. The first bean, black beans. Let's start with black beans. Black beans are rich in fiber, plant protein, and antioxidants, and those nutrients matter because your joints rely on more than just cartilage and bones. Your muscles help stabilize movement. Your circulation helps deliver nutrients throughout the body. Your digestion affects how efficiently your body uses the nutrients you eat. Everything connects. And many seniors notice that when their overall health improves, movement often starts feeling easier too. What makes black beans helpful is that they are also incredibly easy to include in meals. They can be added to soups, rice dishes, salads, or simple homemade meals without changing your entire lifestyle. That is important because healthy habits only work long-term when they are realistic enough to maintain consistently. 2. Lentils. The next food is lentils, and honestly, lentils are one of the most underrated foods when it comes to healthy aging. Part of the reason is because they seem too simple. People often assume that if something is truly helpful, it has to be expensive, complicated, or difficult to find. But sometimes, the foods the body responds to best are the foods people stopped appreciating years ago. Lentils contain nutrients that support energy, muscle function, and overall balance within the body. And after 60, muscle support becomes extremely important because weaker muscles often place more stress on the joints themselves. That is something many people never think about. Sometimes the discomfort people feel is not only about the joint. Sometimes it is also about the support system around the joint becoming weaker over time. You might notice this when stairs feel harder than they used to, when getting out of a chair feels slower, or when your knees no longer feel as stable during normal daily movement. Those small changes affect confidence too. People begin moving more carefully, more cautiously, and over time, less movement can create even more stiffness. 3. Chickpeas. Now let's talk about chickpeas. Most people think of chickpeas as something added to salads or blended into hummus, but they contain nutrients that support muscle maintenance and overall body function. And here is something very important many seniors overlook. After 60, consistency matters more than perfection. The body responds to repeated support, not occasional healthy meals once every few weeks, not short bursts of motivation, but steady habits repeated over time. That is why simple foods can quietly make a difference when they become part of a balanced routine. Not because they are magic, but because the body is constantly responding to what it receives consistently. 4. Kidney beans. Kidney beans used to be much more common in home-cooked meals years ago. But over time, many people replaced traditional foods with heavily processed convenience foods because they were easier, faster, and more accessible. The problem is that processed foods often provide calories without providing the same level of nutritional support. And over time, the body notices that difference. Kidney beans contain fiber, minerals, and plant nutrients that support the body in multiple ways. And many people who begin improving their eating habits often describe the same thing. They simply feel less inflamed. Not overnight, not dramatically, just gradually more comfortable in their body over time. That is usually how real improvement happens. Slowly, consistently, naturally. 5. Navy beans. And finally, navy beans. Probably one of the least talked about foods on this list, but still incredibly useful. Navy beans are simple, affordable, and easy to include in everyday meals. And honestly, that simplicity matters more than people think. Because if a habit feels too complicated, most people will not maintain it long enough to benefit from it. The goal is not perfection. The goal is building habits your body can benefit from consistently over time. The biggest mistake seniors make. Now, before you suddenly start eating large amounts of beans every day, there is something important you need to understand. One of the biggest mistakes seniors make when trying to eat healthier is changing everything too quickly. More fiber, more vegetables, more healthy foods all at once. And while the intention is good, The body sometimes needs time to adjust, especially after years of eating a certain way. That is why some people try healthier foods for a few days, feel bloated or uncomfortable, and immediately assume healthy eating does not work for them. But often, the issue is not the food itself. It is the speed of the change. Small adjustments usually work much better long-term. Adding smaller portions a few times a week is often easier on the body and easier to maintain consistently. The everyday habits that may be making joints worse. Now this part surprises many people, because sometimes it is not only about the healthy foods you add, it is also about the habits quietly working against your body every day. One of the biggest examples is prolonged sitting. Many seniors spend hours sitting without realizing how long they have been inactive. Watching television, reading, scrolling on the phone, relaxing in the same chair for most of the day. And while rest is important, too much inactivity can increase stiffness and make movement feel harder over time. Sometimes the body simply needs regular movement, not intense workouts, just consistent movement throughout the day. Even short walks, stretching, or standing more often can help support circulation and flexibility. Sleep matters too. Many people notice their joints feel worse after poor sleep. Hydration matters. Some stiffness and fatigue may partly be connected to not drinking enough water consistently. And processed foods can matter as well, especially when they become the foundation of the daily diet. Health works more like a connected system than most people realize. Everything influences everything else. If you are dealing with joint discomfort after 60, do not immediately assume your body is simply falling apart. Sometimes the body is asking for better support, a little more movement, a little more nourishment, a little more consistency. And often, the goal is not becoming perfect overnight. It is simply helping the body feel a little better over time through small habits repeated consistently. And if this video helped you think differently about joint health and healthy aging, make sure you subscribe, because the next video may reveal another everyday habit that could quietly be affecting your body without you even realizing it. And before you go, let me ask you something. Which of these beans do you already eat the most?